pushing, you know.
It's almost like it feels like a crossfade, Charles. Like as the Randall's music is fading out, your breath is fading
We
in.
don't want it to go out completely. We want that
Yeah. Okay.
rumble in the background.
Yeah.
And then we slowly introduce the idea of the sound of the breath.
Keep going, Charles.
And Randall's music, that your background music is still present, but just not so hot. And then we start to get the pitch of the E. And maybe Daniel, maybe I can start the pitch because I know what the pitch of an E is, and then you can take
that's a
over
great
from
idea.
me.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And Randall, maybe you can, play with my, because what I'll do is I'll probably do like a little, this is what I'll probably do. And then at some point, the imagery begins to change or merge. Maybe, is it possible, Randall, to have the Black Lives Matter imagery appear, but with the COVID stuff still happening?
Okay.
Can we overlay that?
Yes. Wait.
And I would not. I would leave out the audio from the rally, as yet.
Okay. I'm not prepared to overlap the COVID with the Black
but
Lives Matter.
that's an idea. That's the idea, right?
There, I would have put it on another hyperdeck, but I'm not set up for that.
No, that's okay. None of us are set up. We're just playing.
But here's the George Floyd with the COVID.
Yeah. So however that works out, the COVID imagery and that, and this is where the trivium piece would be. So Daniel, you're still making sounds on the E. And here's a thought, Daniel, that maybe your beginning of the 14th Amendment would start on pitch.
Yeah.
And maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
But we'll have to find a balance between the background sounds that Randall is creating, and my singing and your speaking. Yeah. So maybe why don't you play around with the idea of saying the words on pitch, and then maybe not saying it on pitch, so we can see what the difference is.
Yeah. Okay.
So
do you mean like basically talking like this on one pitch? That's like all persons born or naturalized in the United States, like that?
Yeah, but slower. So here's let me give you an example. All persons born and unborn at the beginning of time. If you were born as a citizen of the United States in 1858, this would happen and that would happen. And then maybe at some point you could even change pitches. You could do, this would happen and that would happen, and this would happen and that would happen. La, 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 la,
I'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll give it a try, Charles.
Do you have any background in sacred music?
I mean, I was, you know what? Yeah,
Hey, Randall, can we turn it down for a second?
Yeah,
Just for a second.
I keep trying to, turn it up for while you're singing, and then you start talking again.
Well, this is mostly going to be talking
Okay.
because we're trying to work it out. We're not at the place where we can do it.
Yeah, I'm
yet
trying to give you a
necessarily.
sense of the sound, but you're alternating between speaking and singing, so I'm like racing to catch up with you.
Okay, so I would just say maybe for now, keep it really low.
Okay.
And then we'll try to like run something in a few minutes. Hey, Charles.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
hear me? Oh yeah.
I do hear you.
Hebrew. I mean, I was Hebrew. I was bar mitzvahed, and I
Yeah.
I went to.
And so you
synagogue.
probably had
I
to
think that's kinda
chant,
what I'm
right?
running with.
Yeah,
a little bit.
exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Daniel, I didn't know
Right,
you were
you had to-
I didn't know you were Jewish. So am I.
I am.
Oh.
Mazel tov. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Mazel tov.
Okay, now we got that over.
I mean, I don't practice Jewish
Um,
anymore.
I don't either.
I'm probably more Jewish than both of you.
Yeah, you are.
Probably. That's right. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I sing High Holy Days every year for the past 20 years. But anyway, that's the idea. So just imagine what it would be like, chanting the Torah or something. So kind of the basic idea. So we would E would be our like home key, but then you could raise or lower the pitch depending on a word that's important. In the beginning, when the 14th Amendment was created and made, certain people free. Da 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 dee da da dee da 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 dee da da. Something like that. But I think it's also important that whatever.
Full on trying.
Yeah, and like you could pause and there could be space and then move on. But the most important thing is that the words be understood. It's not just an effect. I think it's really important in this scene that we hear the text from the 14th Amendment.
Okay. All right.
So maybe why don't you can play around with speaking it or chanting it, and then I will weave in and out the trivium melody and see if that works at all.
Yeah.
So why don't you go?
I'll do my best.
All
We're
right.
gonna start right now.
Yeah.
All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law or immunity, the privileges or immunity of citizens of the United States.
And you know what? Maybe at some point I can pick up from you and also chant some of the text or speak some of the text. In other words, you don't have to do all, we could share that.
So I'd give you some space also, so we'd kind of go do a little back and forth type situation.
Well, so let's say, for example, Randall, can we not have the echo, please?
Yeah.
So we would say, for example, you would speak the first couple of paragraphs of it. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know. But then some point I take over, just so that there's a variety in sound.
Yeah, and an equality too of who's saying what, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that's right, yes. I'm still playing around with the trivium idea, but what does everybody else think? I think that's the beginning of something.
I think I'd also like to listen to some chanting to help me kind of remember what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to probably do that between now and the next rehearsal a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the Trivium.
Yeah. And then at some point, how will it conclude? I would say maybe going back to the sound just being Randall.
Yeah, or the returning to the breath, or some some audio.
Or returning
transition
to the
into
breath.
next
Or
section.
yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it's both you and I breathing, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it feels different somehow. Well, it's 1:15. Do we want to just try to run this whole section and see what happens?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And just riff-
Is that just
riff-
you mean just
riff-
musically, or to actually do staging stuff?
No, not staging, just musically.
Yeah.
Randall can start
Okay.
with his COVID imagery and his music, transitioning to
Yeah.
breathing, transitioning
Yeah.
kind of through it as best we can, and just kind of take a stab at something.
And Daniel,
Okay, yeah,
Daniel, can I get you? I haven't cropped you yet. Can you?
Oh, sure.
Where are you? Oh,
Well, I'm here. I kind of
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
get
no.
my microphone.
there we are. Okay, I just haven't had a chance to crop you out yet.
Is that okay for now? Should I tilt my camera a little bit?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's about the best I can do for right now.
Yeah. So Randall, I know that that none of us have prepared this section, but just as an idea, we're talking about starting with the COVID imagery and your audio sounds in the background, and then at some point the breathing comes in, so that the audio has to balance with that. Maybe your audio recedes a little bit. It should still be present, but we want to be sure to hear the breathing and know that it's breathing, and then that will go for a bit, and then Daniel will begin the chanting of the 14th Amendment, and then that's where we start
I
to
think
get
I'll
the
start-
merging of. That's when
I
we
was
get
gonna
the
start with
merging
kind
of. Can I finish, Daniel?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
And
hard
then
for me to- yeah.
And then Daniel will begin with the 14th Amendment chant spoken, however that happens. And then we get this overlap, maybe like the Black Lives Matter imagery starts to appear with the COVID imagery and maybe take center stage. I'm not sure. It might be nice to pull back the audio from the Black Lives Matter rally stuff for the first time that we see it, and just have it be a visual.
Right.
And then so now we have your background sounds, we have the multiple images of COVID and Black Lives Matter, we have Daniel chanting the 14th Amendment, and then the Trivium melody comes in. And then maybe at that point, once we have all those things, then we get spurts of the background sound from the Black Lives Matter rally stuff.
Okay. I mean,
And-
I can't really remember all of this, but if somebody
Oh,
can,
okay.
if somebody can cue me along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, yeah. Okay.
Just give
I
me
will.
give me cues. That's all.
Okay. And then eventually, what? I will fade out. Eventually, Daniel will fade out, and what we're left with is the breathing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll try. Let's say that we're trying this from the beginning. So we start, Randall, with your imagery of COVID and your audio. And I'll just speak it. I'll just speak through it as things need to happen.
You don't want to start in black.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the way we start the second movement
I'd like
doesn't
to.
matter to me.
It's going to be black at the end of the first movement. I'd like to start in black, if that's okay.
Okay, and then we also were
Yeah.
gonna do the
And the breathing.
intro.
Can you do the breathing
Intro
in the
text.
in the dark as we move into COVID? Charles?
Yeah, and then yeah.
Could you do the breathing in the dark before I move into COVID?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I also wanted to mention that the I don't know what we're calling that, but the spoken text before each movement.
Oh, right, right. I have that here.
Yeah, I can read it. I can read it, or if you have it pre-recorded.
Hold on a second, because I do have it.
So the first movement ends in black, and then the second movement starts in black, and then we hear the spoken word or the spoken text.
Trivium. Crossroads. Our cities are dying of a plague. A plague that will ruin us all. We are all at this crossroads. How will we be saved? How will we be saved? How will we be saved?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Daniel, you join in with
I am. Do I start the speaking now, Charles, or do I do this?
Yeah. Start the speaking.
All persons, born or naturalized, in the United States, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and all of the states wherein they reside. No any person of life, liberty,
And then maybe, Randall, the
property.
COVID imagery fades away.
Without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Citizens of the United States, all persons born or naturalized in the United States, and
Subject to the United States, to the jurisdiction.
Citizens of the United States.
Citizens of the United States.
No state shall make or enforce.
No state shall make any law.
Abridge the privileges of immunities to its citizens.
To its citizens.
To its citizens.
To its citizens.
Deprive any person of life.
Deprive any persons.
Liberty. Property.
Liberty.
Process.
Property.
Law.
Process. Law.
Nor deny to any person.
Nor deny to any person.
Within its jurisdiction.
Within its jurisdiction.
The equal protection of the laws.
And then maybe, Randall, we bring back a little bit of the COVID imagery. And then I would fade out the background sound and fade out slowly the audio that you create, and so we're left with just the breathing.
Okay. That was nice.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're just barely have everything, but I need to have all this documented so that I can queue it up. And
Yeah, and one thing with
sorry, I'll turn that down. I'll turn it down. Okay.
I was just gonna say one thing we could also do is that you and I can have a session where we clarify, all of that stuff. Um, but I have a question for you in terms of the imagery. Do you have any Black Lives Matter imagery that isn't the police? Because it seems to me that the majority of the imagery is police brutality, and it doesn't actually show um, images of the rallies of people being peaceful. I mean, it just looks like it's a violent
No,
mob,
I
and
have.
that's really
I've just played one clip. I'm just looping one clip,
yeah.
but I have tons of other footage. I just need to know, what to use and
Yeah,
prepare.
I would actually, honestly, I would focus 80% of it on the people and less on the police brutality, because it's not
The
really about that.
some of the imagery from the memorial might be nice also, actually, because there's actually some language in there that might be interesting to incorporate. But that sort of peaceful reverence to it a little bit.
Daniel, you shot
could be
some of
nice.
that, right?
Yeah, I put it. I think I shared it with you. I can reshare it.
No. I have it. I just haven't incorporated it yet into the piece, but I certainly will.
Right.
I mean, now I have a much better idea of what I need to prepare for this because I feel horribly unprepared because
Well, no,
that's good.
we
That's why
just
we're
dumped
here.
into the deep
Yeah.
Yeah.
end of the pool.
That's why
Everybody.
we're here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm
I-
glad I can see the potential of where we're going with all of this. I can see it.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, me too.
But I would
Hey, I
just
have a
say that in
question.
terms of the imagery, that we use lot less of the police brutality, because that's
Sure.
really not the focus.
Right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Um, so like I couldn't hear myself, but I could hear Charles, and Charles could hear me because he was, I think, responding to words I was saying. Is that right,
Yeah.
Randall, that I can't hear myself?
That's correct. I mean, that's what's called the mix minus, and we take out your voice, and the reason for that is so that it doesn't echo in your ear. However, we can work on having you monitor your live voice before it goes to me and back again. And so I'm hoping that Daniel, do you have a little time before the next rehearsal that we could see if we can get I would love to see if we can get Sonobus working in your studio.
That would be great because the other thing that happens to me is when I communicate with everybody, there's a delay, and so I feel like I can never get a word in because by the time you all hear me, like 10 seconds has gone by.
Yeah, you're in live to
So
air
I'd love to
time.
try to-
You're in live to air
Yeah,
time, and
exactly.
Charles is in Sonobus time.
Yeah. And I'm
So,
wondering,
yeah, I
why
would
is
love to
Daniel
work with you.
interrupting me?
Yeah, exactly. So Randall, yeah, I'd love to meet with you and try to figure that out.
Okay. Well, I'll send you an email. We can plan that. So our
Yeah.
next, I'll just send out the schedule to everybody. Bravo. I feel like
Yeah, great.
we've made a big hurdle through the technology. Greg, do you have anything to say?
Greg left.
Oh, he's gone.
Well, he must be, because
Randall, Monday would be a very good day for me to meet. I'm pretty wide open. I have one meeting
Okay.
that day.
No, I see. Greg, you're there.
Yeah.
Greg.
Greg.
maybe he stepped away.
Oh, he said he's here in the chat.
Your audio is not coming through
No.
now.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry,
Hello?
I took you out for some reason. Do you have anything you want to add?
well,
before we go?
Yeah, a lot of great material. I thought the majority of it was, yeah, like Randall said, it all makes sense and it's pointed in a extremely viable direction. Th- Probably one of my strongest feelings that I thought didn't work was I didn't like it when uh, Daniel was doing more stylized sacred chant with pitches dropping off and rising at the end tail of phrases against trivium, because then I felt like the two of you were disconnected. Uh,
Hmm.
I thought
Too many
trivium works
ideas.
great. It was a similar result that we had when you were singing trivium or any of the other songs, and Randall was throwing in kind of random pitched musical stuff, and
Yeah.
they just
So
clashed. It felt like you weren't in the same room.
so Daniel should stick to speaking.
What I loved that Daniel did was the pitching and then dropping into spoken at emphatic
Yeah,
moments.
in all my defense,
Fabulous.
Um, in all my defense, I would be willing to work on the chanting. I don't feel I did that very well, so I'd be willing.
No,
to
we
kinda
can
keep
cut the
working on
chanting
that.
if it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I'm open to that too.
Yeah, it was
I
just
love the
another
chanting.
idea.
That's good. Yeah.
I loved the chanting. I thought it was fabulous, and I think Randall should add some octave pitch shifting below it. I think we should record it
Ooh,
also,
yeah,
so
me
that
too.
That's a good idea, Greg. Can you
So-
put that on in your notes? I like that idea, and I have
yeah,
the Octavox 8-voice pitch shifter going.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And so Greg, just to get back to what you were saying, are you saying that that the spoken pitch that Daniel will be doing works when it's just Daniel, but the minute the trivium comes in, he should be speaking?
No, sorry, I didn't express.
What are you saying?
That very well. I love trivium over Daniel being mono pitched,
E,
chanting
on the
the
E.
14th Amendment. I thought
but
that
not
was fabulous.
changing
and even
the
not changing pitch. Although I also really liked it with trivium weaving around the pitch of E with 14th Amendment, but during that, with you and trivium, him dropping out of pitched into unpitched text at moments
Like
that felt
speaking, I kind of spoke.
you dropped into speech, and it was awesome way
Yeah.
to add this emphasis. I also, there was this one moment, Charles, where you first started picking up and snatching the language and throwing it
Yeah.
back at us. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you almost had this moment for about a half a sentence where you were both saying the same thing together.
Yeah,
Unbelievably
that's on
powerful.
purpose.
Super.
Yeah, that's on
That
purpose.
was
Yeah, we'll
super.
play more with that.
That was all
I
Charles.
thought
I
was-
can't hear.
Yeah, but it was
Okay.
kind of a
Daniel,
it was-
I don't want you to be late for your appointment. It's 20
No,
to
I'm good.
2.
I anticipated. I anticipated this go over. That's why I
okay.
said 1:30.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, but yeah. But I'm good. I'm good. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really great.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg, do you have a couple minutes? I just have a question I want to ask you when we're all done
Sure.
here.
And I want to just ask Daniel, can you and I work again alone? I know that you only have weekends now or something, but my
could
time
do
is
Monday.
pretty flex. Oh yeah,
Let's do
both
Monday.
Randall and me on Monday?
Yeah, that's a good day for me.
Actually, that would be really great if we can get Sonobus working with the two of you on Monday.
Okay, but for what I need to do with
Oh, Daniel,
we can do it over Zoom.
Oh, okay. I
And
thought
then
you
we
wanted
can
to
come-
get together the three of us, but that's fine.
No, because I think that Daniel and I need to like
Yeah, that's fine.
work together on some vocal stuff.
But whatever you do, make sure that it's anticipating the next
Documented.
rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then tell
Really
me,
Does
great
everybody
work.
want to?
and tell me so I can get everything queued up. And Greg, both of
Yeah.
us, so we can queue it up.